My 4-step simple process that I have used to close over 2,000 wholesaling real estate deals in the past 7 years. What is up, guys? Zach Ginn here, and in today's video, I want to give you my entire 4-step, really simple sales process when it comes to talking to a motivated seller, to getting them to actually say yes to my cash offer, to get it closed. Now, most real estate wholesaling gurus are going to charge you 7, 8, 9, 10 grand, or maybe even $500 for the PDF of their sales process. But what I'm going to do today is really share with you my 4 steps I go through with any seller to really go from hello to thanks for doing business. And so let's kind of break down these 4 because it's pretty simple, it's pretty easy, and it's something that you can be doing right now to get wholesaling real estate deals. Now, the first thing you have to understand when you're talking to somebody that is a quote motivated seller, somebody that wants to sell their property, I just ask a simple 4-step question process for step 1. Now, you've probably heard me say this a ton, but this is the one that you need to be using. It's called MCTP. Now, don't roll your eyes. There's 3 other steps on this that you don't probably know. But when I talk to somebody that says, I want to sell my property for cash, well, I go through 4 questions. MCTP. And if you think it's me saying it too much, or I've said this a lot, yeah, because for 7 years I've been doing the same thing, because every single wholesaling real estate deal, the last 2,000 I've done, have all passed my 4-question little test thing, right? And before this, the precursor to the MCTP, before step 1 is, we're not doing the sales process for wholesaling if these people don't want to sell their property for cash, right? I think that's the first thing we have to understand, and probably the most important part. They need to want to sell their property for cash. And so that's the first question. Like, hey, Mr. Seller, do you want to sell your house, or are you looking to sell the house? Are you interested in a cash offer? If they are, boom, we get here into MCTP. Now, MCTP stands for motivation, condition, time frame, and price. And I'm going to go over this one really quick because it's one I say a lot. It's in my free wholesaling course, freewholesaling.com. So check it out there. The MCTP basically stands for motivation, condition, time frame, price. And so motivation, number 1 is, hey, Mr. Seller, why are you looking to sell the property? And this is important, if the seller does not want to sell their property, they're not going to have a motivation to want to sell it. And the motivation is important. Are they looking to sell the house for the most money possible? C, condition. We're going to ask them, hey, can you tell me a little bit more about the property? We're getting some information about it. This is more of an icebreaker because everyone loves talking about their house. So, hey, Mr. Seller, can you tell me a little bit more about the property? Like, how's the roof, the AC? Is there any repairs that need to be done on the property? Let me know, right? Is there any renovations? Do I have to redo the kitchen or whatever, right? And then T is for time frame. Hey, Mr. Seller, can you tell me when is an ideal time frame that you're looking to sell the house for? Like, are you looking to sell the house within 6 months, a week, a year? When are you looking to sell it? Then last is P, price. Hey, Mr. Seller, what price are you looking to get rid of the property for? What price are you looking to sell it for? And if you have a regular conversation over the phone, you should get a general idea of what kind of lead are we talking about. This is a guy that's behind on his mortgage payments and he just wants to get rid of the house and it's ugly and he's got to sell it within 2 weeks. Whoa, it's a good wholesaling deal. Now, if you're talking about a motivated seller, it's like, I was thinking about selling it, possibly. I don't know though. The house is in perfect condition and I don't know when I want to sell. It's like, do you have a plan on where you're going to move to if you sell this house? No. They're not going to be as motivated. And one little trick I can tell you when you're talking to a motivated seller, especially in this wholesaling sales process, if they say, I don't know if I want to sell my house, the best answer I always get, we always get this like direct mail postcards, is, hey, Mr. Seller, before you got sent that postcard from us, were you even considering selling your house? And they say, no. Like, well, if you were even thinking about selling your house before you got our postcard, like, you probably don't want to sell the house. And then you kind of do a little chase, push and pull there, but really, they're going to have to want to sell their property before they even talk to us, before it's even a good wholesaling deal, because we got to get a discount on this property, right? Now, the next part on the MCTP, right, we ask for the motivation, condition, time frame, price. Then we kind of get into this transition phase. And, there's a lot of ways to do this. And when I was starting out in wholesaling my first year or two, it was a little more different than kind of the end of how I do it now. But really, the way wholesaling's changed in 7 years, we're a little more different now. And what I mean by that is we do more of a transition into an appointment. And so, what price are you looking to sell the property for? And, I don't know yet. Okay. Well, I got all the information about the property right here. And you know what? What I'm going to do here is I'm going to talk this over with my partner, Rick, and we're going to see what he thinks about it. And if it does fit our criteria on what we're looking to buy the house for, then sure, let me go and meet you at the property. We can set something up. I should be free maybe starting next week, and we can see where we can go from there. Now, that's kind of more of the later style because we're kind of doing I don't know, we have a lot of properties and we're kind of getting that push there. Now, when I was starting out, it was not even a transition appointment. It was setting the appointment right on the first call. So it's okay, well, let me talk to my partner, Rick, on this. He might be wanting to buy this house, but no matter what, I do want to go and see the property. When's a good time for me to swing by? Or my other classic one was, if it was like a really hot deal and I wanted to get it as soon as possible, I was always going to be like, okay, well, actually, is this on by 5th Street? Well, I'm actually seeing a house over on 3rd Avenue at like 4 o'clock. It was okay if I swing by after at like, 5:30? And like, yeah, sure. Okay, perfect. Well, I'll be there around 5:30. My name's Zach, and we'll see what we can do with the property here. And maybe my partner's going to come by and see, right? There's so many ways to be doing this, right? But the one thing, if you're doing in-person wholesaling, I do truly believe it is very important that you actually go out here and set that appointment ASAP or as soon as possible. The faster you go to get in front of the seller, the faster you make that offer in front of them, and faster you get that wholesaling deal. Speed is everything in wholesaling real estate. And so step 2 in that process is getting that appointment done as soon as possible right now. Now, also, there's other parts to it, right? Maybe they're not a crazy good deal, and maybe we're just step 2 in this process is just following up. Or if we're doing virtual wholesaling, we're just going to kind of get off the phone here and do a virtual appointment or set that up. So I'm like, okay, great. Let me talk to my partner about this and see what he thinks about the property. And we can give you a call back and see when's a good time for us to go buy the property or see what we can do for it. What's a good time for me to go and talk to you about the property later? And then you just kind of go from there. You seem like, oh, I got to analyze this and see if it's a good fit. Now, that's step 2. Now we're going to step 3 here. This is the most important step besides the offer that everyone and their mom glazes over. Everyone. And this is the one where you're going to get absolutely killed in wholesaling real estate if you don't do it the right way. What is this? This is preconditioning the motivated seller. Let me repeat myself one last time. Preconditioning the motivated seller. If you are not preconditioning your motivated seller, you are going to lose out on so many wholesaling deals. Preconditioning the seller is basically forcing them, and that's the best definition of this, forcing them to make a yes or no decision on selling the property today, right now. That's right. And so you kind of see me setting this up, right? Let me go talk to my partner and see what he thinks about the property. Now, I might call them back an hour later. I might call them back the next day. Still, speed's important, and I'll go back and call them and say, hey, Mr. Seller, I actually talked to Rick about the property, and he actually owns one a couple streets over as a rental property, and this might be something that we might want to buy. Obviously, I know the kitchen needs work, or whatever they say. I just had a quick question. I know I'm going to come by 5:30 on Monday, or maybe you're going to call and say, what's a good time for me to come by? And they'll be like, 5:30 tomorrow, Monday. Okay, perfect. That's after the kids in school. Well, that's great. Well, I guess I'll see you there at 5:30. Well, let me ask you a quick question. I don't want to waste your time or my time. I see a lot of houses, and I'm not here to come by the house 4 or 5 times. Are you ready to make a yes or no decision on selling the property? When we go see the house, we make a yes or no decision, and I'm a man of my word. When I tell you the price and the offer, I'm good to go. So are you ready to make a yes or no decision on selling your house? Go from there. You can do like a quicker one, like, hey, just a quick question. Are you ready to make a yes or no decision when I go see you at the house on selling it? And that's a quicker one to do. And the point of this is, first of all, the biggest thing that's going to kill your deal is if you go meet a husband and the wife's not there and the wife's at work and he says, yeah, I'll do it. And you get the contract out, you're super excited. And then the seller's like, well, I got to wait for my wife to get home. And then that kills the deal. The wife's like, oh, he didn't talk to me. Oh, that's disrespectful. And then, you lose the deal, right? The cool part is that, yes, I can make a decision. If they can't, they'll say, no, I can't make a decision. My wife, she needs to be there, and we make the decisions together as a family. So you just got to ask that question. And the reason is because when you go back and giving them the cash offer, this is really important. If they say, okay, 100,000, I'll think about it. And then boom, time kills all deals, and you'll lose the wholesaling deal there. We do not want that to happen. So what we're going to do here, this is really important, is ask them, Hey, Mr. Seller, are you ready to make a yes or no decision on selling your property when I go see it on Monday or whenever you're going to see it? I force not just some of my people, all of my acquisition specialists to be going out here and doing this method. I do it in virtual wholesaling. If you're literally going to give the offer over the phone, you still got to do this method. This is what lands you wholesaling real estate deals. This is what lands you actually big income in wholesaling that no acquisitions person really talks about. Some of the top dogs do this, but I'm telling you, this is something that I've just gotten so many maybes, or I'll think about it and I lose the deal. I was like, I'm sick of this. I'm going to ask them straight up. And I'll tell you, about 95% of the time, they say yes, they're ready to make a decision. And there's so many occasions when I actually physically went on the appointments, or I'm training an acquisitions person, and they say, I don't know, I'll think about it, Zach. And they say, whoa, remember, I'm not here to waste my time or your time. You said you were ready to make a decision today. And I know I'm a man of my word. Or are you a man of your word? Are you ready to make a decision? Like, I did say that, didn't I? Okay, yeah, let's go do it, right? And just that little bit will get you the closed deal and beat your competition in wholesaling real estate. Now, that is like, 70% of the effort, because really the appointment is kind of a formality at this point. You kind of give the offer and they say yes or no. You got to understand, especially in the sales process in wholesaling, if the seller says no, it's not the end of the world. Like, the world's not going to end if they say no to you, right? And so this is kind of the offer, right? And so we do the appointment, we do it over the phone, whatever it is. We meet them at the property. We say, hey, what's going on? We build a rapport. We do the Ford method, talk about family, occupation, recreation, dreams, get some humor in there. We talk about the property. We kind of walk through it. We mostly focus on talking to the seller and having them talk, ask them questions. And at the end, we're like, okay, well, this property seems good, and I'm going to use the good cop, bad cop method here. I was talking to Rick about the property, and he told me he was looking to buy this around $100,000. So I shut up there. And I see what their reaction is. And everyone's heard me say the good cop, bad cop method before, but you just want to gauge their reaction to what your partner said about the house. They might be like, oh my gosh, I could never do 100,000. Or they're like, 100? Yeah, I can do that. Or, I don't know, that's a little too low. Like, hey, that's what Rick said. He's crazy, right? Like that's just what he said. I mean, if you don't want to do 100, I mean, what works for you? And then you just kind of go in little negotiations from there. And he said, oh, get out of my house. I can never do 100. Like, that's what he said. He's crazy. He always wants to buy it for the lowest. Like, what are you looking to sell the house for? Go from there and just kind of negotiate. And then boom, you get a contract locked up. You get it printed at the appointment. You get it signed. You get the wholesaling deal. Same exact thing with the virtual wholesaling appointment, right? You kind of go over the phone, kind of talk about it. Okay, well, let me get some pictures. Go from there. Okay, well, tell my partner Rick about this, and he was looking to buy it for around $100,000. Get the reaction from there. And then the sales process with virtual wholesaling is just a tad different. I will tell most people, I'm going to be on my computer here and I'm going to talk to the motivated seller and be like, okay, well, yes, all right, $70,000, that does work. What I'm going to do here, Mr. Seller, is I'm going to send you over an e-signature right now. So over your email of you to sign the contract. And I see you already have your email here. I already sent it out. Let me know when you see it. I'm going to stay on the phone until you actually look at it. The reason is when you give an offer, virtual wholesaling, you are going to have to be on your computer, right? You're going to have to look on your computer, kind of have it already set up in like DocuSign or something, and just have it where they send the email and all they do is click the button. The problem is if you let the motivated seller just have the contract and you just walk away and get off the phone, there's a 50-50 shot they look at, I don't know, what is this inspection? I ain't doing this. This is too fishy. And boom, you lose the deal. And time kills all deals, right? And so what you have to do here is give them the e-signature over email, right? And then stay on the phone with them until they sign that contract. Two reasons. Number one, if they have an objection, they go, what's this inspection period? Because when I'm signing the contract in person, I get this all the time. But when you're doing it over the phone, they're going to ask you a question, and an unanswered objection is an automatic death of the wholesaling deal. Now, that's number one. Number two is you are going to have to be annoying. And what I mean by this is, oh my gosh, I got to go to my movie. I got the new Kardashians over. He's on the phone. Let me sign it. Just get out of this guy's hair, right? And that's the point. Like, you're kind of annoying on the phone where they just want to get this thing signed to get you off the phone. And that is how I've closed over 2,000 wholesaling deals in over 7 years. It's not a crazy strategy. It's a simple strategy. It's a strategy that I can just flow the seller through this little process to get wholesaling deals locked up. Now I can go on the whole objections, the scripts, the everything. in wholesaling. I can do like a 4 or 5 hour breakdown. But what I want to do today is really give you a simple process of how to go from an hello to a signed contract in virtual wholesaling and regular wholesaling real estate. Again, let's recap this from the top. Number one, are you looking to sell your house? Kind of step 0, right? And then once they want to sell their property, we get in the 4 steps. MCTP, motivation, condition, time frame, price. Number 2 here, this is really important. We're going to transition into the appointment, or maybe kind of talk about it a little more, try to get that appointment set, maybe follow up with them, virtual appointment kind of. And then 3, once we set that appointment, we're going to call them back. Or, step 3, we can set the appointment and then ask them to precondition them. Really up to you which one you want to do. I would say transition to an appointment. Say, let me call you back, set the appointment step 3, and then ask them if they're ready to make a yes or no decision on selling the property. Then lastly, 4, we meet up at the property, we do the virtual wholesaling cold call or the call in there, and we get the offer out, get the signed contract, and boom, we're closing wholesaling real estate deals. Guys, if you like the simple process and you want to get more in-depth of actually live sales calls and me actually closing sellers live, I can't post this on YouTube. Unfortunately, with the privacy policy, I can't post it. It breaks my heart, but I do have a private server on a free wholesaling course called freewholesaling.com where you can go and do it. I promise you, if I actually posted that live call, I would actually get the boot on the video. And so I have to do it on the private server. I'm not doing it as a gimmick here. Just go to freewholesaling.com. It's my free real estate wholesaling course. And like always, if you got any value from this video, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe. We'll see you soon. This is Zach Ginn signing out. Have a blessed one.